Welcome to a match of Starcraft 2, played by people that are way better than me. The map is 2,000 atmospheres, and today is a battle for Terran supremacy. Landing in the upper right in red is Maru. And the opponent going to be landing in the bottom left in blue, none other than Clem. Dramatic intro. Check. Will the might of Maru's dominion reign supreme, or will the resourceful rebellions of Liquid Clem's team take the cake? That is the question today, ladies and gents. Both of these players, they're entertaining in their own ways, absolutely. I am looking forward to what is in store this match. Both opening up completely normal, completely standard. What is this, guys? Both barracks are in their own bases. Some people just don't know how to play this game. Building their own production structures in their own bases. Come on. Where's my proxy barracks? My dirty cheese. No, neither one of these players. Neither one of these players, I feel, are really big on cheesy play. Maru is definitely known for a proxy racks or two out on the map, but not this game. Clem, although, does not believe it. He's doing some due diligence. He's scouting around with an SCV, meanwhile making a Reaper factory follow-up for both, so it is exactly what I was expecting so far. A standard macro game, perhaps the scariest prospect of them all. Maru, what are you doing? That's not a Reaper. That's a Reaper. Clem is doing the normal couple Reaper opener, but Maru instead, is it a Reaper expand? Just one Reaper behind this and getting a reactor. I wonder what that's going to be for. Well, I don't wonder. It's probably going to be Marines. There's only so many things you can build with a reactor barracks, but I don't know, maybe he's going to be playing defensively. Factory did finish for both players, starting their Hellions, and command centers down on the ground. Maru. You guys see that? Double Reaper production? Reactored Reaper? Beyond, is that you? No, it's not Beyond, I know. I know it's not Beyond, but this is definitely interesting. So, it definitely spells aggression to me. He's continuing the Reaper production. He's up to 3, he's going to go up to 5. Clem has stopped his Reaper production to get the reactor now. An interesting prospect. Going for the reactor more quickly is a risk very early on. If Clem had done a proxy, for example, that probably would have just killed him outright. But that's not the case. And now it feels like Maru might actually be ahead, especially with now 5 Reapers instead of 3, and he's going for it. Oh, here we go. Time for me to quit talking so much, quit boring you people. About time we get some action in this game here. Clem gonna spot it. 3 Hellions, definitely more than 2 Hellions, but they die off very quickly, actually. Way to go, Clem, killing off those Hellions before they can get any real damage done. He does have to pull back because of the Reapers, the Cyclone down on the low ground now. SCVs being killed off, even mules being harassed. Unsafe work conditions. The mule lives though. 3 health. 4 SCVs died so the mule could live. If that doesn't tell you that robots are taking our jobs, I don't know what will. Besides the point though, a solid hold by Clem. Maru lost everything in that engagement. 3 Hellions and 5 Reapers. Did pick off 4 SCVs, which is a nice advantage this early on. Is it game ending though? I don't think so. I don't think it's game ending. It hurts. Definitely hurts though. Clem might want to try and throw a punch back, I'm not sure. Maru is switching over into the Marine tank Raven production that we all know and love for our TvTs. It could be a quick game, it could be a long game, it's tough to say with that composition. Maru is expecting it to be a long game based on that third CC going down. And I don't blame him either. Especially after losing everything, you're giving up your map control. That's the biggest loss. Losing the Hellions, losing the Reapers that early on, you lose your map control. Marine, feeling optimistic, fires off at 4 Hellions and a Cyclone. That's an ambitious Marine at best. Impact starts for Maru, gets his going first. Clem is not adding on any production, instead he's going for the third on location. Quite a bit behind Maru's third, but definitely a bonus point for getting it on location. Clem, just checking. Oh, the scan. Where's my counter scan? Clem does not counter scan. When you scan, or you buy Reaper, holy moly. As I was saying, when you get scanned as a Terran player, you're supposed to scan back. Even if it's not to actually gather any information whatsoever, it's a statement. I refuse to just be scanned by the likes of you. That was gruesome. Gruesome death at the hands of a Hellion. 4 tanks, pushing out into position, trying to get this third established. Clem gonna see the initial Marine. He's gonna take a hit. Oh, Hellions. Marine goes flying. That is not how he probably wanted to be airborne, though. So, third CC does finish. Clem only slightly behind in that it's not an orbital, but much more even now. He's also looking to get aggressive. There's 1 tank. There's 2 tanks total, but only 1 here. Cyclone lock-on gonna get broken. Second tank coming up now. Oh, interference matrices go out. The Ravens are shut down. Auto turrets everywhere. Chaos erupts. 14 SCVs died off. Holy moly, that exploded. Guys, 15 SCVs. Interference returned onto Clem's tanks, who's going to absolutely be pushed back. Vikings land offering their Gatling gun support. Marines, not a real counter to Vikings in low numbers. Maru's gonna hold, but at what cost? That was bloody. 15 SCVs knocking Maru down to a whopping 54 to Clem's 60. So Clem, he took that hit early on, losing 4, but then offers it right back, taking 14 with him. Way to go. Raven count, 6 Ravens. Clem. He's got more spellcasters than army units right now. That's great. Ravens, that's such an interesting unit, I feel, over time. With the addition of the interference matrix, the changes to auto turrets, the Raven by itself can actually be a bit of a fearsome force. I don't know if any of you have died to mass Raven. I have. It was not a fun game. It was very infuriating. But enough about my balance complaints. Clem, going to be in a good spot with that many Ravens. At least that's the theory. Being able to interference matrix all of the tanks on the field. Maru only has 5 tanks, and I believe they're all here. That's the counter scan. Thank you, Maru. Counter scan. Well played, Clem. Auto turrets going down, not offering much support, though. Maru going to be in full retreat. The Marine advantage goes to Clem, picking off everything he can. Oh, the Ravens are dying, though. Clem down to only 2 Ravens now. Siege tanks firing away. They get in position. Unit count. Maru has 6 Marines here. Clem has 6 injured Marines here. So Clem gonna have to pull back. Tanks 3-2. The Viking count goes to Clem, though. Oh, caught unsieged. Gonna be able to run away. Scans everywhere, guys. When I said I wanted to see counter scans, I didn't mean like this. This is just too much. Clem throwing out a very forward 4th command center is meanwhile loading up 2 drops. Can't wait to see what he does with that. Upgrades on the way, combat shield's going to finish for Clem, who was behind in that field, +1. Also gonna finish for Clem. Now Maru's just slightly ahead on some of these small timings. The 4th is going down on location, finishing now. Clem's a little over halfway done. You can see just very small edges, tiny advantages here. Oh, Maru, Clem unlocked the Gold League technology, missile turrets. Not going to be able to get much done there. Counter scans, I love to see it, guys. Pointless information. Maru, what's the plan here? Just setting up a couple groups. He's trying to establish the 4th base. Planetary gets up. Corvid reactor. The Raven upgrade, for any of you who are not familiar with Corvid reactor, that increases the starting energy of Ravens. Maru going to win that battle wholeheartedly. Superior Marine count, more stuff counters, less stuff. The simple rule of RTS games, not just Starcraft, everything. More stuff counters, less stuff. Marines pushing forward, target the command center. Is that really the best call right now? These SCVs are exposed, 2, maybe 3. I feel like Maru's trying too hard here. Marines pushing forward. Oh, 7 SCVs do go down. Not going to get any more though, and losing the medevacs in process. 2-2 just now finishing for Maru, who's trying to keep Clem away from the precious bases. Clem did the check for the 4th base up here, but it was not there, so the scan on the other side. That makes complete sense. Although, the sensor tower kind of gives it away. Sensor tower radius, because everyone can see that on the mini-map, of course. 2-2 Marines, definitely stronger than 1-1 Marines, so Maru gonna win that fight. Single siege tank takes quite a bit out of those Marines. Ooh. How we doing on the army counts here? Oh, Maru pushing forward, taking hits too, though. Maru's up in the Vikings, but Clem has more tanks and all of the Ravens right now. 4-0 on the Raven count, so it's tough to say. Interference matrix goes out on the tanks. Zoom out, TvT battles are huge. Tanks giving support fire for the Marines. Clem gets the 3rd, that's a good pickup. Tanks sieging up on the high ground. Clem, don't run up a ramp into siege tanks. Zergs learned that lesson a long time ago. Medevacs into the main base. Clem takes this position. Excellent spot, but Maru's on top of the production. Reactors go down. Interference matrix on a medevac. You don't see that too often. 15 SCVs went down. Ooh. Maru, that was a bit of a hit. That was quite a bit of damage taken. And now siege tanks firing at their mortal enemy, the supply depot, the high ground depot. Oh, Vikings instantly pick up a medevac. Marines repay Clem's kindness in kind, taking out a supply depot. I think Clem's going to have to give this position up. As much as he might want to stay here and deny the 3rd base, Maru is able to set up quite a nice pincer attack here. Clem? Did he just kill his own tank? Maybe a little anxious, maybe a little nervous, or maybe just punishing the weak. That tank was unfit to be in Clem's army. Clem pushing forward now, cannot break the position though. Siege tanks on the high ground, the interference matrix comes out far too late, but auto turrets on the ground might be able to even the odds. Medevac drop goes out on a great spot, getting rid of all those tanks to the tune of a few sacrificial Marines. I wonder if they volunteered for that. Who cares? Who cares if they volunteered? They got it anyways. Clem having to retreat now. Maru pushing forward. He breaks the siege. He takes his third back. He's also got Corporate Reactor almost done. Ooh, and +3 attacks halfway done too. Clem's is not even started. That's going to be a huge advantage if it comes down to it. Interference on the siege tanks. Quit moving the camera so much. I have one job. Liberator can break the tank line. And the Marines get the lid and back off. So that position. Oh, Clem has this base too. That's not good. That base is in trouble now. Siege tanks going to be able to shell that planetary. I don't quite understand the point of making that a planetary. You know Maru has tanks. Viking Wars go out. Oh, picking off Ravens. That's the real damage there. SCV's trying to repair the planetary futilely. Futilely. However you want to pronounce it. I won't judge you if you want to pronounce it wrongly. Either way, the planetary's dead. The planetary's really not going to judge you because it's gone. Maru's satisfied with the damage he has gotten, just going to pack it up. Head home. I do not blame him. Not one bit. +3 attack finishing now, and Clem's is still not even started. Not even in production. It might not be such a huge advantage just because of how many tanks we're dealing with. Marines are kind of, for lack of a better term, fodder in this kind of matchup. You get enough tanks out and the Marines just don't matter. They just evaporate. Good luck having a group of Marines try and break an 11 siege tank line. But in the little battles, it might matter, especially if drops come into play too, if we get into a bit of a stalemate here. I don't know if it's going to come to that, though. Maru... Both of these players are essentially maxed out, and they're adding to the Raven count now, 6 to 6. Ravens, Maru sitting at 69 workers. Not anymore. It's no longer nice. That was too slow. Siege tanks, Marines, finding another group of Marines here. Clem. He's got his army split up into 2 groups. Oh, but Maru getting the jump on a couple tanks here. That's always nice. Little bits of pick. Oh, no, not the Ravens. Clem. You got 500 actions a second. You should not be losing Ravens. So I decree. Scouting SCV gonna find a group of Marines. Meanwhile, huge battle. Maybe. Oh, blam. Vikings, Ravens pushing forward. Maru is actually up in the Viking count too. Oh, anti-armor missile goes out. Interference matrices everywhere. Maru is going to break the position. Siege tanks get to fire eventually, but Maru has everything over on the left side, leaving this base exposed. Clem sieging up. That planetary is going to be gone. Marines pushing forward. Interference onto a couple tanks, but it's not going to do very much. Ooh, that's a lot of firepower. Planetary is going to go down. What's going on over here? Same thing. Both of these players taking hits, giving them right back. Planetary is also going down. Okay. Now it's a battle. So both players taking chunks out of each other here. They both just kind of subtly agreed to give up those side bases at 9 and 3, respectively. Where do we go from here? Who's in the better spot? Take a second and think about that. Maru's got 1, 2.5 bases there. Clem, half, 1, 2, so they're essentially even on that front. I'm definitely liking Maru's army though. Much more maxed out. Raven count is 9 to 6. That could make a difference. You have a lot more auto turrets, a lot more interference matrices to play with here. He's also up in the Viking count. Interference goes out, Marines pushing forward here. Siege tanks firing on both sides. This base is forced to evacuate, which gives another point of advantage over to Maru. Something's dying over here. Marines from Clem killing off SCVs, denying that base. So, yet again, we're in a mirrored position here. They both just denied those bases, whatever that is, 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Oh, you two. TvT. This is what TvT is at its finest, like a chess game. +3 armor on the way for both players' sets of Marines. Meanwhile, the Raven count just continuing to go up. Clem now has the advantage in the Ravens, 10-9, but Maru has more Vikings and more tanks. I'm gonna need a big zoom for this one. Siege tanks. Interference goes out on everything. Pushing forward Marines. Oh. I can't tell who's gonna win this. The Marines have evaporated. Siege tanks. Another set of interference matrix. Maru's pushing forward. He's gonna break it. And if he can deny this base, I think that might be the game. Clem just doesn't have anywhere else he can really go. One final hurrah. Clem pushing forward. Marines trying to split as best they can. Ravens offering up some auto turrets, but not interference matrices. The siege tanks from Maru are just too strong. Clem gonna have to tap out. Maru taking the game. Holy moly, you two. So, that went everywhere. I won't even try to summarize that one. But that last battle was a good one. Maru had interference matrices everywhere. Clem opting for auto turrets. Maybe interference matrix would have been better. It's very tough to call though. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.